A lot of times I feel like that maybe America's turning a blind eye to something that they need to put more light on.
People need to educate themselves because they need to educate their children, and it needs to go through the generations to stop this.
I was shocked by how big of an issue this was.
But I find myself now picking my head up and looking around and being more aware.
You know, it's not something you really want to think about because it's a pretty sensitive subject.
It makes me more aware of not just myself, but other women.
So one of the biggest takeaways I have is that we all have to be part of the solution.
My name is Kelsey Moreland. I live in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and I'm the manager of compliance for Precision Pipeline. I live with my beautiful wife, my young son, and we are expecting another in a couple months.
My name is Mitch Repka, and I'm a director of major projects for Precision Pipeline.
My name is Glenn Elias. I am the CFO for Precision Pipeline.
Hi, I'm Ashley Knops, and I'm an accounts payable specialist at Precision Pipeline. I live in Wisconsin, and I live here with my husband, who is a fourth-generation farmer, and we have 2 young children.
My name is Jimmy Dick, and I'm a welder foreman for Precision Pipeline. I live in Halton, Louisiana with my wife, Kelly. Between the 2 of us, we have 5 children.
My name is Samantha Thayer, and I'm a project administrator for Precision Pipeline. I'm from Batson, Texas, a tiny town between Beaumont and Houston. I travel with my dog Josie. She is always on the road with me, and she loves to travel.
My name is Michael Bender. I'm a project coordinator with Precision Pipeline.
I was just talking to my brother the other day about human trafficking, and I asked him, I said, give me your version of what you think human trafficking is. We hear about, oh, it's just going to be a white van and the guy's going to grab people up. But it's not like that, I don't believe. Human trafficking is taking someone against their will and doing acts against their will and holding their life.
And it's something that needs to be talked about, even though it's an uncomfortable subject. The more that we talk about it, the more we're going to be aware of it, and the better we're going to be suited to recognize the signs.
I think a big problem with human trafficking is nobody talks about it. Like, there needs to be more conversation, so I have conversations with my husband of what it is and what it, you know, to where he can be a support to our children and ourselves to keep them safe. My mom friends and me talk about it all the time.
After completing the Human Trafficking Awareness video, I learned 2 things. First thing I learned is that I wasn't as aware of this issue as much as I should have been. And I really realized that, particularly at places like truck stops. So I found myself a lot more aware. The second thing I learned was that Precision Pipeline, we have a big part of this because we have trucking in our company. And I feel like I have more of a responsibility for it.
I became much more aware of the magnitude of the issue and also the warning signs to look for. So one of the things that I really realized was that, you know, the victims are not there under their own free will. I mean, they're there being exploited. They need help, and in order to get help, we as a general population, as a public, need to be able to recognize these factors and provide support where we can.
One of the things that I actually learned was how prevalent it is. I wasn't aware of how prevalent it was and how it could honestly happen to anybody.
Because of this training, I have a wider perspective on what to look out for, and that's changed my behaviors, especially while traveling. Whenever I'm staying at a hotel for the night in between projects, or if I'm going on vacation somewhere, it's really important to look out for these warning signs, such as someone that's being controlled, they can't speak for themselves.
When I think of, you know, our stop work authority out in the field, that also pertains to human trafficking. If you see something, you should be saying something and acting on that.
One of the things that I learned through the training was the warning signs and what to look for in certain situations. And one of the key ones I think that stood out to me was the reluctance or the inability of the victims to be able to speak for themselves.
You know, they don't have the voice to be able to speak out, but we do. So we got to do whatever we can to ensure that happens.
One of the things that I really took away from this training was be the person to call. Speak up for somebody that can't speak up for themselves.
They have the hotline that you can call to let them know what's going on, and then also to like let that manager know if you're, wherever you are, a place of business, so they're aware of what's happening in their place of business, so they can take the actions they need to put a stop in their area with this happening.
Always remember that when you see somebody in a poor and destitute condition, think of that's somebody's child. That is somebody's child. And if it don't look right, you need to call that number. And it's so easy to remember. It's just 888-3737 and 3 more 8s.
I'm very pleased that Precision puts all of their employees through this training because it just allows more sets of eyes, across the entire country to be able to recognize these signs. And we can truly make a large difference with this problem with all the employees that we have.
Without us speaking up and being a voice, these children and people will never ever be heard, and it just lets this continue. And I've always been taught that it takes one spark to ignite a movement, and if we all were a spark, how fast this could move forward and put a stop to human trafficking.
We are Precision Pipeline, and we are committed to fighting human trafficking.